So today I want to talk about something that is very obvious but almost always overlooked. And that's the fact that you actually have to live and make it to the SHTF. So people concentrate on getting prepared and getting ready for the SHTF, but they never think about how they're going to survive and make it to the SHTF. Currently, we're in an economic collapse and possibly the prelude to World War III with China and Russia. But it still stands that until those events happen and we have a total economic collapse, we haven't reached the full SHTF. And we need to live through the time before the SHTF and the SHTF. For instance, if you look around, the power's still on. Now in some parts of the world it's on sporadically, but it is a resource that's still available for use. Sanitation, water, sewage, dump sites, they're all still available to use. Resources are accessible even though they're very difficult to get and you may have to wait a long period of time for them. So in the true SHTF, none of these things will be available. So we have to ask ourselves, what are the most important things we need to think about to actually make it to the SHTF? And the first one is income. Now, you have to have some kind of income to secure resources because we're still in an economy that is functioning even though it is strained and damaged. So when we think about this income can be consisted of dollars, it can be silver, gold, it can be trade goods, it can be anything of value that we can trade and use to get the things we need. And I've talked extensively in the past about parallel and microeconomies. These we need to be engaging in now because they will transition us from now into the SHTF. Because with home manufacturing, home production of food, it doesn't matter what it is you're making as long as there's a market for it or a market for a service you're providing. This can be a supplemental income or it can be your full-time income. So when we're moving ahead, we have to concentrate on income because that's how we're going to secure and get resources. And I'll give you, for instance, I'm older than 50 years old. And what you'll find is in that group from 50 to 65 years old, it's very hard hit and it's very difficult for those people to get a job. One of the reasons is employers don't want to pay for health care for these workers. So from age 50 until 65, when the average person is on Medicare, the companies see that as an expense. And what you find is these companies will start hiring when people are 65 or older because then they don't have to provide health care. So it's even more important once you hit 50 years old or older that you engage in the parallel economy and make a living that's outside of the traditional corporate economy. So these are just a few thoughts on something that's obvious but never discussed. So in the comments, tell me how you're going to make it to the SHTF. See you on the next episode.